Someone fails you over and over and over continuously. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne. Well, I got to thinking about people who disappoint us, people who fail us, our expectations of them each and every time, or they do it continuously and often. You know, I think most of us think the best about other people, and most of us want to give other people chances, more than one, more than two, in hopes that they'll change. You know, people are not going to always meet our expectations, no matter how great the relationship is. There's always going to be disappointment in any relationship because people are not perfect. And so the thing about it is, if we're looking for a perfect relationship, we're likely not going to find one. Okay? Now, there are relationships that are perfect for us, but they don't have to be perfect. They don't have to be where someone is always doing everything perfect. Because most relationships, including ourselves, we don't always do everything perfect. And so there's a lot of forgiveness in relationships and a lot of letting people not have to be perfect. Part of being in a relationship is that you can let down a lot of the pretenses, not to the degree of sloppiness, not to the degree of failing other people, but we just don't have to be perfect. But what about those people that we've repeatedly reduced our expectations, that we've minimized our expectations from, and they still disappoint us, they still fail us? We have gotten to the point where we really can't minimize our expectations much more than we have and still have any kind of meaningful relationship. Maybe someone promises to show up every holiday and they don't. You know, when I was a child, my daddy, after my mom and dad got divorced, he sometimes did not show up when he was supposed to show up. And as a small child, that was very disappointing. So I learned to reduce my expectations. He may or may not show up. And we were able to have some sort of relationship at that point because I had reduced my expectations as a child, that I wasn't going to let myself be disappointed because I knew that he may or may not show up. And so, you know, sometimes we reduce our expectations and the relationship can maintain, it can sustain, we can keep on going. It's not what we want it to be, but we're willing to accept it as it is. But what about when it goes beyond that, that they're not even meeting that standard? And we're constantly disappointed or continually disappointed or often disappointed. It's over and over and over that person disappoints us, even with our low expectations of the relationship. So what do? Well, some people stay in a relationship. Some people just continue to accept, behavior that is far substandard than what they want. Other people leave the relationship. And some people, they kind of deal with the relationship and just don't have much expectation from that relationship. I think everyone is different. And it depends upon the relationship. It depends upon the needs. It depends upon what the person is or is not doing. But when someone continually disappoints us and our expectations are not unrealistic, or they're not so high that person can't meet them, and if their expectations that are okay for the relationship, that are appropriate for the relationship, then we've got to decide, do we want to stay in the relationship or not stay in the relationship? And if we do, at what level, and how is our interaction going to be? Not how we wish it would be, because obviously at this time it's not going to be that way, but as it really is, taking a look at the relationship as it is today, not how it will be in the future, not how it was in the past, but how it is at this time. How do we want to go forward if things are not going to change? And so when someone fails us over and over, they disappoint us over and over, we've got to make that decision. That decision is ours. I know for me, if people fail me over and over, and I've had people fail me over and over in life, and I've had people who were amazing in my life that did not fail me. Were they perfect people? No. Did they do everything perfect? No. But overall, they were there for me, such as my husband, okay? And he is always there for me when I really need him. And so I'm very blessed that way. But is he perfect? No. Am I perfect? No. But I'm always there for him as well. And for the things that matter. And so it depends upon the context of the relationship and what is expected and what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept, what you're willing to navigate around and still have a relationship of some form. For me, when I stop expecting even the minimum in a relationship, the minimum, I tend to back up. And I have a minimum relationship at best. If I don't want to break the relationship off entirely, I have a more minimized relationship. It's not what it could be if things were different, but it is what it is. Sometimes we've got to accept people for where they're at rather than where we wish they would be. And once we realize where they're at, then we get to decide at what level we want the relationship to continue. Okay? From my house to yours, may God bless you. I hope you like, share, subscribe, and I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye.